Welcome back. We do continue to get reaction as the Legal Practice Council has condemned the manner in which Advocate Malesela Teffo was arrested. Teffo is the defense counsel of 4 of the 5 men charged with murdering former Bafana Bafana captain Senzo Meyiwa, who was shot dead in 2014. Now, following a postponement of the Meyiwa murder trial yesterday, Teffo was arrested by an investigating officer with the help of members of the police's tactical response team who are providing security during the trial. For more on this, we are joined by Chairperson of the Legal Practice Council, Janine Myburgh. A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. South Africa wants answers, of course, shocked by the manner in which Advocate Teffo was manhandled and really police barging in the middle of a very serious trial. What is your take as the Legal Practice Council?
Good evening. As the Legal Practice Council, we condemn this action in the strongest fashion. We saw with the rest of South Africa on public TV the arrest of Advocate Teffo. While the details and the facts of the case are yet to be clarified, the fact that he was arrested inside the court with the TV cameras going, it leaves an interpretation that it is open to, that it was clearly a form of intimidation. In the absence of a very cogent explanation, the inference is drawn that the police were abusing their powers to intimidate the defense counsel is compelling. While Advocate Teffo may have a case to answer for, the manner of his arrest, the indignity, the disrespect to the sanctity of the court, to society, is something that cannot go unanswered. We do want an explanation, and we do want an independent investigation as to why this was done. It's almost sacrilege. The very day after we had celebrated Freedom Day, our democracy was blown with one foul swipe, with the police basically barging into court with a SWAT team to arrest a legal practitioner. Why wait till in court? Why wait till the cameras are there? Why wait that long to execute a warrant?
I suppose those are very important questions because South Africa is also wanting to know those very answers. Why? The timing. Of course, speaking to a case which really seems to have layer upon layer upon layer as we hear about the many dockets that are outstanding in a matter that has nothing to do with the work that Advocate Teffo is tasked with doing in the Senzo Meyiwa case.
I think it's important to mention that this has wider ramifications. As the Legal Practice Council, we have various objectives, and they are to uphold and advance the rule of law, administration of justice, to promote and protect the public interest. What message does this send to the public? If your legal practitioner disagrees with the police, then they are arrested in public. What message does this give? What do the police do when the cameras are not there? We all need the police. In South Africa, crime regrettably is rife, and we often have to trust the police. How do we trust the police when this is clearly smacks of intimidation?
In response, we listened to Advocate Teffo speaking about how he's not deterred by this and it has merely strengthened him. And he also speaks about the timing, suggesting that it was a smokescreen by the police and the National Prosecuting Authority who were concerned about his presence in the case because they know it's going to bite them. I mean, what does that speak to when an advocate is being intimidated, and a case that has really got a lot of people wanting to know answers to?
Especially the fact that he was arrested just after he mentioned to the court that his life was in danger.
Yeah.
But it's not only this case. It has ramifications to society, to the man on the street, the legal profession. What does the uneducated person see who sees the advocate there he disagrees with the police, and then he's taken in handcuffs in front of the cameras. Why then? Why that way?
So what would you like to see happen here as a council? I mean, the legal space is a space that you want to ensure that rules and regulations are adhered to.
Well, first of all, if Advocate Teffo has got criminal charges to answer to, he must go through the full extent of the law. But we have to respect the dignity of society, we have to respect the sanctity of the court, and our constitutional rights have been threatened by being, you don't know whether your legal practitioner is going to be arrested in court in front of the cameras. It's not just has the ramifications of this case. It's so much broader. And I don't know if the brazen police who did what they did understood the ramifications of the access to justice of society.
Teffo's instructing attorney, Tsepo Tobane, said that the arrest came as no surprise and that they were alerted during the court lunch break that this was going to happen. I mean, with that information beforehand and in a position where you're busy in a very serious trial, what sort of obstructions does that now speak to when it comes to the motive behind this, perhaps, and, you know, the reasons behind it?
Well, that's all the more challenging because you arrest someone in court, but or the fact that he becomes alerted to the fact. Once again, it boggles the mind. But I really want to stress that this doesn't only have ramifications for this case that took 8 years to come to the court. It's the entire society, the structure, the legal structure that has been damaged by this one foul swoop of the police barging into a court of law. What legal standing does this leave Advocate Teffo on? I mean, which foot is he standing on when it comes to the intimidation, the threats that he's received, and making mention of such high caliber police officers, making mention of Police Minister Bheki, who's since said he knows nothing of this matter? Well, I would not be hesitant to advise Advocate Teffo. He would quite, I'm sure, be a fay with his rights and have to take the necessary action which he deems fit. Very well. And what action, I mean, just looking and perhaps getting a broader view of this matter, what would the options be? What sort of leeway would he have on the legal standing? Well, obviously his reputation, his dignity, but we would also then, as the Legal Practice Council, have to see whether any of our code of conduct requirements for the discipline, there is any disciplinary infringement. Very well. Thank you so much for weighing in on that, reacting, of course, to Advocate Malesela Teffo's arrest there, speaking to some of the concerns that have been raised, and, of course, South Africa wanting answers and really concerns. Legal Practice Council's Janine Myburgh giving us some insight.